Hi guys, this is Emnel. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. We are going to start a brand new playthrough, a long promised achievement run for Big Entente as France, of course on veteran difficulty. Problem with this one is that you'll have to now strap on and listen, because this whole scenario requires a pretty obnoxious information dump before we can continue. Let's call it this way, and let's go. So, first of all, you may ask, what is the Big Entente achievement? It requires you to go with the Little Entente focus, which forms an alliance with Czechoslovakia, and later you can add Romania, Yugoslavia, and India and Poland. And to unlock it, you need to control all of the core German territory, you and your faction members. That includes actually Austria. It will become a core territory, and of course Ostprussian, which may also be problematic. Now let's talk about the situation in which France starts. Two most important parts are those debuffs. Victors of the Great War, which cuts our manpower but around 100,000, just above it, and increases time required to research doctrines by a hefty 75%. And another one, disjointed government, basically steals 0.8 of political power point daily, and some national unity, but that's secondary. What that means is once we start using our national focuses, we will never get we won't get positive income, or rather income, political power income for the first 4 years. By the time we get rid of those debuffs, we will be around 300 points in the red, which of course means that we will need to earn another 450 before we can change anything. That means basically that we need to win the war with Germany and more before we can even start thinking about changing from civilian economy or from limited conscription. And as you can see, we do not have a lot of manpower to spare. Of course, all other changes are out of the question as well. Now, we can get rid of those modifiers though, as I mentioned. So let's look how can we do it. Let's start from the end, really. To remove the victors of the Great War, we have to finish the army reform, but it isn't as easy as it seems. So it's not just a 5 whoops and we there. No, we need to not have the disjointed government first. To remove the disjointed government, we need to unlock this focus, defensive stratagems, something like that. So this one removes that. But to be able to take this, we need to finish strengthening the government and then wait a year, which is pretty bad in itself. But well, this one part is pretty obvious. To get strengthened government, we need to already choose a Little Entente. And now we come to the point in which extreme part of this playthrough comes into play. Basically, if you want to go for a Big Entente, there are two ways to go about it. We can either go to war with Germany when they request Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia. If we are either already in faction with them, then the war will automatically start, or if they ask for our help and we provide it. And that's actually the easier way, because Germany is not yet really ready. Italy won't join the war for several months, and Czech Republic actually has Sudetenland, which is mostly mountains and is chock full of landforts level 6, as you can see here. Not all the provinces have them, but there are, I think, 7 provinces with landforts, which makes the whole area very defensive. But we are not going to do that. We are going to give up the Sudetenland, and only after that is German focus number 14, I think, or 13, and only then, after Sudetenland is gone, we will we'll finish the Little Entente focus and invite Czechoslovakia to our faction. What that will mean is that we will go to war in early April 1939. There is a minuscule chance that Germany will pussy out and not go to war over our refusal to annex Czechoslovakia, and the war will start when they invade Poland. But that's in my test that happened once out of quite a few tries I've made. What is the most problematic here is, of course, first of all, that we won't be able to take this for around we'll take this 2 years after we could have, if we went for the early war, which will make the time that we'll have to spend with those modifiers much bigger, much longer time, bigger time. You know what I mean. Second of all, Italy will join the war outright. Third is, and the most deadly one, is that Soviet Union will actually attack either Poland or Romania a few months after we go to war with Germany. And well, since we are not wussies, we will answer their call to war and go to war with Soviet Union. So that means that we need to basically knock Germany and Italy out of the war within a few months, and then with what we have left, hold on with the manpower that we have left for about a year against Soviet Union. While the part about defeating Axis seems fairly doable, from what I've tested, I never nearly managed to stop the Soviets. So the bonus here is that you will probably see me fight for my dear life and miserably fail, which should be entertaining in itself. So that's what we are going to do. I think that covers the basics. Sorry for like 8 minutes talk about it, and there are quite a few other very important things about it, but we'll discuss this as we go. For now, let's group everything we have and throw it to Europe, because, well, we can't really afford defending. We can't really defend Africa. We'll need to throw everything we have at Germany and Italy if we want to hope to succeed. What we start with is, as far as army goes, 51 infantry divisions, 7 motorized, 6 awful tank divisions, some cavalry and some mountain divisions. We are not going to train a single division till the war starts, because first of all, our industry is barely enough to equip what we have, and second of all, we don't have manpower for it. So we will just fix the divisions we have and well, use them to hopefully defeat Germany. What we'll need to do at first. Oh, come on, someone is drilling something. Hopefully you guys can't hear it. But this is my, I think, 4th try to provide fairly concise introduction, so I'm not going to stop right now. Sorry about that. Hopefully it should go more or less well. Alright, so we're going to fly it all to Europe. Let's make a line here. Order. They should go here, and actually we are going to add you here as well. Why we are separating them is to fix our divisions, which are atrocious, we'll get to that later. We need between 70 and 80 army experience, depending on what exactly do we want. And we can't send volunteers due to our laws, and pretty much we have very little in terms of army experience from the focus tree, so we'll simply need to waste our equipment to get that experience in time, and that means we will be exercising our army for like 3 years. Well, not 3, 2.5 really, just to get experience, and we don't want to waste tanks for this, so hence the tanks are not here. Let's add the tanks. Reposition tanks here as well. Okay, we can choose a national focus, and as this is going to be our focus number 14, if I remember correctly. We will start with fixing our industry a little bit. We'll take both of those, but start with this, since this is 4 factories. 5 factories here and here instead of 4 and 4. So this is the first one. As you can see, we do have a tremendous amount of 6 military factories. For that reason, we are not going to bother with civilian ones, and we'll just pump this full of factories. Of course, we won't be able to finish nearly all of them, but one can hope. Now, production. We do not have manpower to invest in Navy, so we are just going to, let's say, build light cruisers. Very slowly, not using oil on them, and using only a single dockyard per boat. This way they should finish in around 6 years. By the time we will be getting some manpower, assuming we survive. Now, if you remember, we have some serious issues with that plus 75% on top of veteran difficulty 10%. That makes the time required to research our doctrines a bit obnoxious, but problem is we need that. Our army will be much weaker than Germany, not even counting Italians, so that 30% planning, max planning, will be very important for our reverse blitzkrieg. And well, since we do not have manpower to spare, that is actually very important as well. For that reason, I think I've tested various things, but I think we will simply have to, if we wish to get those 2 things before the war starts, we need to start this outright. Okay, let me think about it for a second. First, we are going to start with the machine tools and with electronic mechanical engineering. Okay, I will ponder on that just a second more. Let's fix our navy. As far as our naval strategy goes, it will boil down to create a doomstack and hope for the best. We may end up having to outright disband our navy at some point, just to recover, what is it, 62k manpower that we can to put that into our divisions. As far as air goes, we actually start with a decent amount of 500 fighters and 200 tactical bombers that are, oddly enough, up to date. Not the 1918 variant. But by the time we go to war, Italy and Germany will have around 2000 1939 fighters between them. So we just can't afford to win the air war, since, well, United Kingdom won't be fighting alongside us. For that reason, we are going to ignore. We'll have to ignore. Oh, actually, we need to just limit it to 1. The same goes for this. Yeah, and that's about the extent of our interest in Navy. Our biggest holes in equipment are artillery support, and then infantry equipment. We'll need some tanks and some motorized, but while our templates are outright awful, they use up-to-date tanks, 1939. So unlike quite a few nations. Oh, actually, let's take a look what we have. We have, of course, mountain infantry. Well, we start with some. This is pretty standard. Here, it's pretty bad. We don't have engineers nor field hospitals, and we'll want to research both. Here, we have up-to-date tanks, and we're going to use them. We start with apparently research anti-air, which we are not going to use at all. Doctrine, as I mentioned, we are not going to use it, to change it, of course, and we will spend an ungodly amount of research time to read them out to speed. Nothing with naval, air, or and here, well, you've seen, we start with a whole bunch of nothing, which is pretty standard. Now, and of course, as I mentioned, we can't change anything here. Now, what the research slot debate is between construction and land doctrine. If I go with construction first, that will mean that the first 2 months of the war I will fight without this doctrine, which is most of the war, really. We either win it or no, or not by then. But let's play it safe and actually start with the construction. Well, safe production-wise, because as I mentioned, our what we have here will be barely enough to supply the armies that we already have. Right, I will pretty much play on speed 5 for the most time, but I need to take a close look at all of that from the get-go, and I will need to add by one factory at the time, really, for it to work. All right, we can unpause. I've spent actually probably between 20 and 30 hours researching all of that, so it really is pretty tight. But well, I didn't want to film a flop, which, well, would be pretty embarrassing for myself and not that entertaining for you, I imagine. So let's do it all properly. Soon I will get myself some oil, but for now, that should be more or less enough. Losing what 25% here is, as it turns out, both motorized and light tanks we have fair amount of. We'll need about 4 factories of that and 3 factories of motorized. We will use self-propelled artillery to get those proper tank divisions. in my test I haven't tried I have not tried using the I haven't tried exercising with my motorized, but that was that turned out not to be enough to get all the required arming experience. So this time we will bite the bullet and see if that will be enough. But well, that may well bite us once again in the ass later if we end up with not enough motorized. But well, we'll see how it goes. And I had to decide on something. We will just issue a diplomatic objection because choosing this version will well, start a civil war on first. But what's detrimental to this campaign would be that it would go with Britain here, which kind of defeats the purpose. And our second national focus, of course, industrial expansion. Let's change it to red. As far as commanders go, we aren't that bad. We do not have anyone with offensive doctrine, of course, which means we can't go for 22 with. Well, we shouldn't, at least. We have some force with one with Panzer and another with Trickster, and as you can see here, Charles de Gaulle with Panzer and level 3. Alright, let's take a closer look at production. Artillery will be the most pressing concern, as I mentioned, then support equipment. I guess at some point motorized, since we are wasting it. Still in two minds about it, but oh well. It may be more interesting this way. Okay, I can electronic mechanical engineering. We are going for mechanical computing outright. Spanish Civil War started already. So there's a chance that since oh yes, this there's a chance that if the Spanish Civil War starts early and we are at war during our elections, which is now, we'll get this event, which will allow us to switch from civilian economy to early mobilization, which is great. But this is just a 1 in 10 chance probably, so for the sake of a challenge we are oh Jesus, we are even paying national duty for it, but yeah, we are not going to change our economy law this way. Which is actually a pretty silly event, because that's a huge difference left to chance. So in multiplier that's like night and day. Right, we have our industrial expansion and, well, military factories, of course. Right, production. I'm really scared that I will not have enough of that, so let's go with 2 more here. That looks badly, but we should be able to catch up later on. Well, that doesn't look that bad just yet, but if you look here, it looks pretty damn bad. What I should do is, for now, change that to everyone has a normal. As I mentioned, we need at least 70, which we should be able to get, but after we change our divisions designs, our division templates from the old ones to new ones, we would basically finish training them back up like 3 days before the war. It's pretty extreme. And for a margin of error, of course, going to be concentrated industry outright. We're going to concentrate the hell out of our 6 factories. Oh, 9 factories by now. We will get some strikes pretty soon, which will mean that we'll lose most of our production for 3 months. Okay, let's push it back up, and let's actually get one more here. Yes, we are going to let them strike rather than this. Thing is that you can get quite randomly a lot of events that either cost you national unity, which is bad to begin with, or require you to boost communist support. And if you aren't lucky, because they seem to be completely random, you can end up with well, basically having to take national unity hits or risk civil war, which we don't want to have. Alright, military factories. We are going to choose a research slot here. And here we are going to wait for 30. Oh, 3 factories, of course. We got. Now we are going to choose it like this, and then we'll take another one, another 2 to 5, and then we'll invest in things that require oil. Let's. We are going to start researching a doctrine right now. That will take 540 days, which is atrocious, but well, we need it, I think. Oh, I think I forgot to mention about our third bonus, which is actually a bonus. Increase of planning speed, but 25 for the cost of 25 max planning for the cost of 25% planning speed. I take this trade every time, which compared, well, mixed with our bonus from line doctrine will actually give us pretty decent punch for the start of the war. Okay, it's one of those things that will probably allow us to actually fight the Germans. 505 days plus those 30. How's this going? One here. I think I will add one more. Because since we are those things have no, not those things meant motorized divisions actually have some artillery in them, which not a lot, but well, 24, which means that we will be losing more artillery than in my previous tests. Hence, I want to keep adding that even faster. Of course, I will need to add 3 or 4 motorized. Well, I think we'll end up with 4. Look at that strength. Okay, factory strikes ended. We are back to producing things. Right, we got our first research slot. Here's the research slot number 2, but we can't get it just yet because it requires 75 factories and we have only 68, and we are not producing them nearly fast enough. So we are going to get another 8 here. As far as this goes, we will once again wait for 30 days, just to be safe. Strike's over. Just weird that those two informations pop like a month to one another. You can see we are slowly but surely losing political power. I really think that you know, this scenario, playing France and going to war without United Kingdom, is the most difficult challenge that the main game has to offer. So much more, that more interesting. And here we are going to get ourselves the SPGs. Here we go. Right, so that was pretty dense early on, but I think I managed to, you know, to convey all the important information without boring you guys to death. Hopefully it was possible for you to understand what I was saying as well, accent-wise. So hopefully you enjoy, and as much as me are looking forward for how this will unfold. So thanks for watching, guys. Since this is the first episode in the series, I ask you to leave it a like, allow people to find it easier, and well, this way help the channel grow. And if you are not subscribing yet, please consider doing so. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.